Chiro Hustle. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession on the world's #1 chiropractic podcast. Before we dive into this powerful episode, please remember to subscribe to our channels and give us a 5-star rating on iTunes to continue hustling. This episode is brought to you by Excite Medical and the DRX 9000, Peach State Payments, Recover, Chiro HD, Softwave, Cool Blue BA, Chiro Health USA, Chiro Script AI, Chiro Moguls, The Chiro Speaking Company, Pure Chiro Notes, 5-Star Forge, Titronics, Sherman College of Chiropractic, Life Chiropractic College West, and the IFCO. You can benefit from our full list of sponsors by visiting the sponsor page at chirohustle.com/sponsors. Links in the description. Now, let's hustle.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 701 of the Chiro Hustle Podcast. I'm your producer, Luke Millette. Here's your host, James Chester.
So today we had the opportunity of interviewing Dr. Lauryn Brunclik. And if you want to hear about podcasting and business development, stay tuned for the full episode. Welcome back. This is another episode of the Chiro Hustle Podcast. I have Lauryn Brunclik.
You were so close. There you go.
She Slays podcast. Check her out. Doing great work. 290 episodes. Really impressive. We've just been behind the scenes talking for the past 20 minutes about chiropractic, a little bit about my career, her career. But we're going to jump into this one today. We're going to talk about business, podcasting, get a little personal. We're going to talk about her favorite pizza, her slayers, her communities that she's built, and then a little bit of what's next for her. She has a Multipassionate Chiropreneur program that she's launching this year. She has a iteration of it going this year. I don't know what's the best way to say that. But the community that we're building, she and I, and what it does for chiropractic is so essential to the future of this message of chiropractic. Mm-hmm. Before we get into episode 701, I'll tell you our big why. Why do we do what we do over here at Chiro Hustle? Where first things first is freedom of speech. Does
that mean I can swear?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Forgot to ask that.
But before we got into this, like I was talking to you about how structured we are and how quick we move. But, freedom of speech is so essential. I know what it's like to be traffic throttled. I know what it's like to be shadow banned. I know what it's like to be censored, all those things. And we'd never do that to you guys. So everybody we've ever interviewed, we've aired. We've never edited it unless there was some static or some crap in the background. We've cut some stuff out. But we also believe in medical freedom and family health freedom. They're not the same things. Go find a chiropractor in your city if you need somebody to guide you and your family for those topics. Philosophically speaking, we do protect B.J. Palmer's Sacred Trust. It's his last words. If you want to know more about it, go to our show notes, click on Sacred Trust. You're going to figure out more about chiropractic than you ever did before, I guarantee you. Even if you're a chiropractor, go check it out. Please share the show. If you guys have chiropractic underlings, students, early grads that need philosophy, please share the show with them because they're going to get a full dose of philosophy. I guarantee you. We do support subluxation-based chiropractic. I know I shouldn't have to say that, but they're taking this out of the colleges. They're taking this out of the vernacular. They're taking this out of the programming. They want you to be musculoskeletal. What's that word? Manipulators. Yeah. They want you guys to be manipulators. So we talk about the adjustment, and this is the part where I talk about the adjustment. We believe in innate intelligence, universal intelligence, and educated intelligence. We believe that when man or woman, the physical gets adjusted, it connects them to man or woman, the spiritual, which creates this idea of educated intelligence. With that, this is Dr. Lauryn. She slays. 701. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It is interesting that you have to do you vet your guests to make sure you don't accidentally get a musculoskeletal manipulator on?
No, I mean, if they don't like
just
it,
trust it's going to be an awesome conversation.
They'll just get blasted with some philosophy because they probably need it too.
They do.
And then they'll be eating crow the whole conversation. And they'll be like, why does this taste so bad? Well, because the non-chiro just told you what chiropractic was. How about that?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. But people need that. And if we don't speak up on it, then they go behind closed doors and they secretly do things. And the next thing we know, chiropractic doesn't exist anymore. How
It's
stupid
getting
is that?
harder and harder. Yeah, it is getting harder and harder. I was studying some of the questions that you emailed being like, hey, these might be some of the questions that we touch on. And one of them was like, where do you see the profession in 20 years? And like, you come across very much like an optimist, or, um, and I'm not cynical. Like I have like for the longest time, I've been like, oh, I'm not an optimist, but like I also am not a pessimist. Well, no, wait, I am cynical, but I'm not a pessimist. But I realized that like, oh, the word for me is a pragmatist. Like I make very emotional decisions, but based off data. Like I don't make optimistic decisions from my gut. I don't make pessimistic decisions from my gut. I make decisions based on like, well, this is kind of the reality of things. And so I was like, oh God, I don't really want to talk about what I think the profession could be in 20 years, because it could be real good or it could be interesting.
Well, I'm going to jump in on a couple of those ideas that you shared. Back until 2020, data was pretty well established that we could trust it.
Mhm.
And there was an old saying that people lie, numbers don't. Now I think it's all fabricated. I think that the mouths lie and the numbers lie.
Yeah.
And you're talking about pragmatism and different types of like character traits. They used to say that somebody was either extrovert or introvert. And what I've realized that I think a lot of people lie in the middle. It's called ambivert.
Yeah. Yeah. Is it like 80 or 85% of people that?
I'm like, how did no one ever tell me this when I was younger?
Because we like to put things in boxes. Like we like as society to put people into very specific boxes. As you're like, we're a bipolar society. You are either like an anti-vaxxer or you fully vaccinate and you're a sheep. There is no in between. And it's just like you are either a Republican or a Democrat. And it's just like, what's what we love? We love two options.
Yeah, and I live in the middle of that too. I'm into freedom.
Yeah.
I'm into whoever gives me the best chance at having a flag of America wave in my front yard.
Yeah.
And whoever gives me the best chance to preserve what we've become as a nation, that's who I like.
Yeah, my husband and I have been libertarians for, I don't know, as long as I've been voting. And the number of times we've had to like clarify, like, no, we're not one of the, like, we're a libertarian. And they're like, what is that? I'm like, and then when you start, what's interesting is similar to the ambivert thing, is when you start to describe like what a libertarian is politically to people, they're like, oh, I
I'm
think
kind of
I'm
that
that.
too.
And you're like, yes, you are. Yes, you are, probably.
Yeah, and that's just it, is identity. That helps me roll into question one with you, your story.
Mhm.
When did you decide that like chiropractic was going to be the thing for you, and you're going to go spend the next 7 years of your life getting educated to go out there and check and detect and adjust vertebral subluxations?
So I was 12. And so this is kind of embarrassing, but I will tell you that so my mom was best friends with one of Fred Barge's daughters. Like growing up, she like hung out at Fred Barge's house, like got in a ton of trouble with his daughter, like just being naughty. But still,
No way.
right. But still, our lives, like I had no idea this vitalistic view of chiropractic. We still went to the chiropractor a couple times a year when we felt we needed it. And so my chiropractor growing up, I was talking to him, and one day he said like, well, I'm going to be either, because I'm a very like achiever mindset and I'm 12, and I'm like, well, I'm going to be either an OB or a pediatrician because I want to help moms and children. I was just like, okay. And so we started to just have this real gentle conversation around. And so basically through this conversation, he was, just not shaming it at all, but just started talking about what now I know as the Merrick chart, and like doing just this beautiful way of, discussing how as a chiropractor, you don't have to pick between OB or pediatrician, and how the tools at your disposal. And I was just like, oh, I'm going to do that. And so I remember coming home, telling my mom, like, so I'm going to be a chiropractor. And she's like, oh, and my mom's like, oh yeah, my friend in high school, or, his best dad is a chiropractor. She had no idea, like, he was front barge. She's like, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. We like chiropractic. And I never wavered, was like just steadfast until I got to my second trimester of chiropractic school at Northwestern. And it was realizing that not everybody loved chiropractors. Like, I was shocked. Like, I had no idea the vitriol that existed. And it was like really tough. I literally almost dropped out because I had to sit and go like, okay, you got to decide. Because if you're going to put all this money in, but it was this realization like, shit, I'm going to have to educate and fight for this profession. Like, I didn't sign up to fight for this profession. I signed
Isn't
up.
that wild?
Yeah. Like, I signed up to be liked. I wanted to solve people's problems and everybody would think I was the greatest thing because I solved their life. I had no idea I was going to have to sell. I had no idea I was going to have to educate and fight.
And
so
market.
market. Like, I just thought I'd be like, I'm a chiropractor and like, I would make lots of money because people love chiropractic. And so it wasn't like a weekend thing. It was like a month long. I am serious. I almost was like, drop out now, pick a different profession. And I was like, nah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do this.
Well, I think that's a big topic to talk about for students. I know that there's a lot of kids out there right now that are the exact avatars I discussed. They're not getting philosophy. School's hard. It's expensive. I mean, obviously it's an investment to get educated in this world, but it's definitely one of those barriers of entry where people come into this and they're not going to be liked as much as they would hope to be. It's not going to be like you go open up a dental clinic and you get patients that come in because they have to get their teeth checked and cleaned.
Right.
Like, we still have a huge hurdle to get over to teach people that chiropractic helps with the nervous system, that it helps the body and the brain connect, that it's the organ system that improves with adjusting. It's the glandular system that improves with adjusting. It's the healthy pregnancies. System. It's the healthy pregnancies that get impacted by adjustment. It's not what the society knows it to be.
Right.
And the whole idea of putting yourself out there and like working hard for the profession, that's
over and over and over and over. Like, we're not just talking for your first 6 months to a year of practice. This is like
2 decades. So when I asked that question, where do you see the profession going in the next 20 years? It's that daily routine for every chiropractor to get us more prominence and to not lay down and to stay on their guard and it's an everyday job.
Well, I think we have some shit to fix internally, though. And I'm not talking about some of the stuff that you're probably thinking, like every profession. Just so, like, I always have to caveat this anytime I'm talking about this stuff where it's like to chiropractors of like, don't feel bad. You talk to dentists, you talk to lawyers. They all have their own like skeletons in the closet of their profession. But I think that one of the biggest issues that we've created is that we attract caregivers and we do not tell them that you're like, so we kind of say like, oh, you have 2 options. You can either open your own practice or you can go work for someone. Now, one of the major things I think we need to fix is we need to teach better business principles to the chiropractors who are like, yeah, I'm going to open a practice, because we have a lot of chiropractors who are opening practices and they do love that like daily, they have that love hate with entrepreneurship. Like, they were designed to like be, the CEO, and this is great, but they don't know how to create financially beneficial opportunities for other chiropractors. Their profit margins aren't there. And so what happens is they're like, oh, I can only afford to pay like, I want to bring on a team, but I can only afford to pay a chiropractor this amount. And so you have these caregivers who are graduating or who've been in practice, and they're like, I can't keep doing this for $70,000 a year. Like, I can't. So I have to go start a practice. But then we also have 50% of the chiropractic profession being females now, who are like, listen, we're not that far evolved from, so like I'm a millennial, just turned 38. And like when we look at like my great grandma did not work. Okay. So like we're not looking at too many generations where like women have ovaries still. Like this is the thing. And there is this pull to, especially when you look at the chiropractic lifestyle of wanting to homeschool your children, to like homestead, to do all these things.
Organic.
Yes. And so we're seeing there are multiple things surfacing where it's like, okay, great. We have 50% women graduating. That's awesome. That's going to do some great things for the profession. You know what else is going to happen though, is they're going to feel as though they can't provide for their family unless they start their own practice. But then when they start their own practice, they don't feel like they can be there for their family because they're starting their own practice. And so it's just this like, all right, we have to figure some things out. Like the people who feel really called to employ people and run a practice, they got to get their shit together so they can provide exceptional opportunities to both men and women where those chiropractors can just focus on caregiving, because that's what they were called to do. They weren't called to work on marketing and like running KPIs and meetings. Like they're there for the patient and their family. And so we have to create those opportunities.
I think you talked about a lot of things that people don't really identify.
Well, you said I have 35 minutes, so I had to like get it all in there fast.
but I think it's really interesting that you talk about this, because this is an angle that people need to like check in on. Chiropractors are healers.
Mm-hmm.
Like a chiropractor's innate ability is to be a healer. A chiropractor's innate ability, probably a small percentage, is to be a business person and to be a team leader and to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then you take into this idea that you were talking about earlier as being like well-liked and well-received. And the chiropractor's a doctor. So the chiropractor is like, I make $70K a year and I can't have the nice car. I can't live in the big house. I can't send my kids to the best schools. I can't take the best trips and eat the best food.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's this like poverty consciousness within the profession too, that like there is a scale of like, how do we fund ourselves?
Mm-hmm.
How do we get ourselves to this point of becoming that doctor and being able to take the arrows at the same time, being able to be the business person, be the person that's doing TikToks and running a podcast and all the things. Like there's so much that goes into your world.
People don't put like it's super common sense. And I talk about this. I have a signature speech that I'll give on stages where I'm taking like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Right? Are you familiar with the triangle and Psych 101 or whatever? You know, and at the base of that pyramid is just security. So like that includes financial security, knowing that you can provide a household, like a roof for your family. You can pay your bills. You can do these things. And if you are functioning at the base of that as a chiropractor for years, where you are you're broke, like you are broke, you will burn out. You will burn out. You could have so much passion for the miracle and the power of an adjustment, but you can only, because basically at the bottom of that Maslow's hierarchy of needs, that's called fight or flight, people. Your nervous system is in fight or flight if you are constantly waking up worried about your like just basic needs. So it does not matter how much you love chiropractic. If chiropractic, essentially air quotes here, betrays you because you can't afford to make it in that profession, that's burnout. There's lots of different reasons you can burn out. My favorite ones are the ones who are like, I'm adjusting 1,000 a week. My physical body is burning out. Like that's easy to fix. Like, but some of this other stuff, these are like huge issues that are going to face and shape the future of our profession.
You made it to Chiro Hustle. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession on the world's #1 chiropractic podcast. This episode is brought to you by Excite Medical and the DRX 9000, Peach State Payments, Recover, Chiro HD, Softwave, Cool Blue BA, Chiro Health USA, Chiro Script AI, Chiro Moguls, The Chiro Speaking Company, Pure Chiro Notes, 5 Star Forge, Titronics, Sherman College of Chiropractic, Life Chiropractic College West, and the IFCO. You can benefit from our full list of sponsors by visiting the sponsor page at chirohustle.com/sponsors. Links in the description. Now, let's hustle. It's not just chirocentric. These are issues across the board, but when it comes into the chiro space, it hits harder because we need these chiropractors to go save the world. We can't allow this profession to keep on, like they've always said for so long. There's two things: circling the wagons and shooting in, and eating the young.
Yep.
And we have to break the golden handcuffs. We have to prove that there's a life away from the adjusting table. And I think that that's something I really want to focus in on with you today is like podcasting. That's giving you an outlet, and it's taking you away from the adjusting table to come into a creativity zone that you love and build a community that you love. What has it been for you? What has it been like for you to be a practicing DC and to be able to find a creative outlet that builds a community?
Oh, it's so honestly, that love and joy and creativity that the podcast brought into my life, but then the struggles of removing myself from practice a little bit, how to set my clinic up efficiently so they could function, not on my day-to-day energy, not on my day-to-day hands, my heart, like setting up those systems, setting up all of that stuff where it's like, okay, so this clinic is kind of set to go now. So I can be all in when I'm there, but then I pulled some of my energy. So I can, because like podcasting is a ton of work, to create all of that things around it, to create that community. It is a lot of time and energy, and it's good that it fuels me. But like so many chiropractors, it's like, well, if you're doing this to get rich, you're probably better off just putting that same energy into your clinic. It's so much easier to make an extra $50,000, $100,000 in your clinic than like in a course or podcasting or whatever. And so realizing, it's been great that way. But then I had all of these docs coming and being like, I want to be able to do this, whether it's through a course and so that's how the Multipassionate Chiropreneur became a thing. Was like, okay, well, I have to teach you not just how I started a podcast. That's not even what the program is about. It's how I started to look at my clinic like a business. And, Stephen Franson from The Remarkable Practice, he's one of my favorite quotes from him is, I'm going to fuck it up now. But like, it's something along the lines of like, if you can't remove yourself from practice, you don't have a business, you have a job. And it was like so many chiropractors who are the CEO, they have a job, and that job is killing them just as much as any of their other employees. And so, when I was able to start having this freedom to be there for my kids, to start the podcast, to work on courses, to be creative, to make reels, it kind of made me like re-fall in love with the clinic as well, because the clinic wasn't this thing, it was like, okay, well, if we want to afford to go to Disney next year, we have to make an extra $10,000 at the practice. And so the practice becomes this, I don't want to say this negative, but it becomes this like heavy weight on the family. A lot of the CEOs are the breadwinner for a family. And so if it's like, okay, we need to make more money, I have to grow the practice. And so it's just this freedom that's been woven in.
It's like separation anxiety. How do I have a life outside of this job?
Yes, exactly.
And being a high paid employee to a system that I don't really control.
Right. And so it's really been focusing on helping establishes every chiropractor's unique, what their work-life balance looks like, what their version of retirement is going to look like. Do they have the finances set up for that properly? Do they have their clinic set up properly for them to start removing some of their energy? But without the podcast, I wouldn't be able to have the program, the Multipassionate Chiropreneur, to have those conversations because nobody would know who I was.
So it builds, it's a virtual stage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which is really funny because like, we'll keep this between you and I, but like chiropractic stages don't pay. So it's like nobody heard that, right? So it's like if you're speaking at X event, you flew your ass there. Like you paid for your thing, like most of them anyways. And so when that becomes a thing though, when the podcast started to get, thousands of downloads every month, and you're just like, oh, I don't really need to go there to speak to 200 people and then it also gives you, I know you see like that platform for feedback where you really start to hear what chiropractors need more of. And so you start to shape like, okay, this is where people say they're suffering. And so like in the last year, like we've really leaned into this financial aspect. Stephanie Willer and Elise Rigney, who are two of my best friends, but also chiropractic mentors, like the three of us put on Chiro WealthCon in Miami in October. And it was such a cool event because we were talking about these things nobody else wants to talk about. We don't talk about that chiropractors are broke because somehow we view that as like an insult to chiropractic. Of like, no, we can't talk about that chiropractors are suffering because like we're carrying this ego that if chiropractors are suffering, that means that chiropractic isn't everything we made it to be. And no, that's not true. That's not true. You're just ignoring the skeleton in the closet.
Well, the way I was explaining to you earlier, it's about building up skills.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about working on your game and getting able to play in the game every day. So you got to take care of your mindset. You got to take care of your body. You got to take care of your spirituality, your personal relationships, and your business. Like these are the things that really you have to do in order to stay in the game. And, people have said this time and time again, but chiropractors are, elite athletes. They're constantly working every day. They're constantly, taking care of other people with their bodies. And those impressions that go into your body with each adjustment that you do, you're taking energy on too. There's a lot of stuff that people don't talk about, the metaphysical of the practitioner. It's easy to see how somebody like carries themselves, if they put weight on, if they're limping, if they're, unkept, you can see these things in people. It's just how they present, but also there's these things that make the chiropractor really special. And there's only one profession that can do what you guys do.
Yeah. It is so unique.
That's why I went all in 16 years ago and started promoting what the profession could do. Because I started working in a clinic and I started seeing these patient testimonials I was doing. And I was like, why doesn't everybody know about this?
Because chiropractors are too focused on the micro of the day-to-day problem solving that being a business owner is. Like that is part of it. Like it's not the entirety of the equation, but it's like you've got like so many of us are just so focused on like, oh shoot, I just got a resignation from one of my front desk people. Like, oh, Blue Cross Blue Shield, I have to like send them that patient's files, and like shit, my accountant just emailed me that I didn't fill out this thing. And they're just so focused on the micro of the day-to-day. That it just eats away at them. They can't see the macro anymore. They don't remember why they were called to this in the first place.
So what were some of your takeaways from this past event you guys did in October, the Chiro WealthCon?
Oh, that's a good one. Oh man, you asked me a question. I wasn't prepared. Okay. I would say one, I had no idea how well it would be received from the attendees. Like, I'm not a vulnerable, well, I'm an oversharer, but I'm not like a cryy, weepy person. And we all had just so many people coming up to us and like crying, like, and being like, you have no idea that like the conversations I'm going to go home and have with my spouse, this is going to change our entire picture. And it was just like, oh, wow, cool. And then you hear that once and people are just like crying. They're like, no, seriously, like this was so needed. I think that I was very worried that we were going to get, because like you said, the circle the wagons and we shoot inward. I was very worried that we were going to get shot at from a lot of the big names in our own profession of like, oh, you're talking about money? Ew, Chiro WealthCon? Like, you're greedy. Like, that's not a servant's heart. Like, and we didn't get any of that publicly anyways. I don't know if there were private things and stuff like that happening, but I do think that fear of like, hey, I'm going to call out a problem that I see, but I'm also going to start being a part of the solution. I think we realized like, oh, this is an actual problem and people are seeing this as an actual solution. And so like some of the stuff was, it was just, we had barely had any chiropractors speaking. It was mostly people talking about cleaning up your financial house. We're talking about Roths, we're talking about creating courses, we're talking about real estate investing, we're talking about business acquisition. You're just like walking away with like, oh my God, so much information, but it also makes you realize how much you just don't know. And where it's like, oh, these are the conversations that some of these people are having, and I need to start also having these conversations.
Well, I really respect it. I think that I always tell people, go create your own stage. Like if you don't like the way things are done, don't complain to me.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just like talk to me about it. What are you going to do about it?
Mm-hmm.
I like solutions. And I think that that's a big part of it is you have to, DeMartini once taught me this. You have to give yourself permission to be great. No one's going to do it for you. You have to like wake up every day and give yourself permission to be great. So when you saw me today, what did I do? It's like the best day of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And
so many people I feel like they're like, oh, I'll act great once I get to a certain number of visits a week. Like, or once I get to a certain amount it's like, you're right though. It's that granting permission where they're like, I shouldn't act great now because like I have $25,000 of credit card debt. I'm not great yet.
Hermosi, he'd say the day you decide that you're successful is the day you're successful.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a message that chiropractors need to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Like the day that you decide you're successful, you're successful.
Yeah.
And you just have to look in the mirror and give yourself permission to be great because no one else is going to give you that like achievement status. Like that's you.
One of the things that I've observed over the last 5 years and I'm very happy for is I see a returning back to not labeling everything as toxic masculinity, whether it's coming from a male's mouth or not. But we got a little soft there for a minute in entrepreneurial world. And I don't think it's fixed, but like at least in the algorithms and the circles that I'm seeing a lot less hate on because it's just like, there's a lot of grit, and we like when I say masculine energy, I don't mean male genital, like, we're talking alpha, omega, like whatever kind of energies you want. And like that alpha energy is very, very important. That's that resilience. That's like, I will wake up at this time. I will be disciplined. I will not break promises to myself. I will fail and I will get up again. And I will accept that it's hard, but I'm going to freaking do it again. And like, without that, chiropractors cannot be successful. Like you can't. And so I'm very glad to see that like slowed down for a little bit. And we're becoming a lot more accepting of like, I can say that without getting ridiculed of being like, you're not standing up for women and this and that. And it's just like, sorry.
Well, hustle's in the name of our show, and I've never backed down from the standards that we've laid down. And I think that I joined this group a couple of years ago called Men of Iron. It's a derivative of Wake Up Warrior. And it was a chiropractic leadership group that I was a part of. And it was accountability. Like we had to do everything each day. We had to complete tasks every week. We had to plan out things for every quarter. We had to create one big thing that we were going to take down for body every quarter. We had to take down one big thing for our balance of relationships every quarter. We had to come down with one big thing that we were going to do for our business every quarter. We had to do one big thing for our spirituality every quarter. Like we had to like figure out who we were and report and be accountable. And I'll tell you, like anybody that does that long term, I was also doing 75 hard for an entire year. Like, yeah, you want to talk about like why this is easy? Like this type of thing is easy because I enjoy this. Mm-hmm. It's like, how can you do 5 shows on a day? Well, it's because I love what we do here, because this profession needs PR. It needs these conversations. The kids that are out there becoming chiropractors, they need to see this.
Mhm.
The people that don't know what chiropractic is, that are just like, well, I got a bad back. They need this. The mom out there that doesn't know that chiropractic can help with their kids' torticollis, they're going to find you, Dr. Lauryn, and they're going to say, damn, I need that lady.
Mhm.
And she's going to help me. And not only that, but we're going to help the professional. So that's the part about chiropractic that most people don't really understand. There's the professional facing angle and there's the public facing angle. And we do a great job of curating content for both sides of who's looking into this
Right.
lens. And when people really understand the miracle of chiropractic, when they listen to that first 2 minutes, they're like, what is innate intelligence? And what is the sacred trust? And what is an educated intelligence? Like the base of the philosophy goes into the base of the business. And then we base this creative group together and no one's ever shut out. You know, I sat down by these guys that were like leaders of the ACA at the Chiro Congress. And they're like, what do you do? I'm like, I interview chiropractors and that's my life. Like I talk about your profession. And they were really curious as to like how they could control me. And I said, no one has agency over me. I was like, I saw you guys bickering and you left the keys to the kingdom on the wall. And I just went and grabbed them. And I started telling the story. And I said, the real reason why you guys should cheer me on is because I put you guys at the table and I put all the philosophically based people at the table. And I invited all you guys into this thing called chiropractic. And now you guys can all come to Chiro Hustle and learn from each other.
I love that.
But these old dogs try to sit me down and basically shoot from the wagon in to somebody that promotes what they do and try to build agency over me. And I'm like, that's not how this is done. Sorry, guys. So once again, back to this idea of like grit and like masculine energy. Yeah, you have to hold your ground even when people are like really like pressing you to like cave.
Yeah, and get used to people not liking you. Still working on it.
They didn't much. I know we're coming up to the edge of our time together, but let's go to rapid fire. What's your favorite pizza?
I do not discriminate as long as it's normal gluten crust. But I am a carnivore by like nature. I try and eat as much. So like I am all the meats.
Yeah. I'm a pepperoni pizza guy.
Just pepperoni.
Yeah. So if I mean,
I don't mind pepperoni by any means, but like
it's what I grew up on. Yeah,
I like a pepperoni, pineapple, and jalapeno. That's also another classic.
Okay, well, I'll throw some chicken and jalapeno on it too.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, and some spinach. You know.
See there, yeah.
I'll expand a little bit. I do like red sauce over anything.
I do too. Like, I definitely
don't try to get funky with pesto or whatever else you might throw on.
I love pesto. Yeah, okay.
It's not the same. Let's throw a shout out to your Slayers.
Okay. Hey, she Slayers. What do you want to shout out to?
No, your community, like
yeah,
you're at 290 episodes.
Holy
like
cow.
that's a huge thing, you know?
Yeah,
like,
and the average podcast gets like 120 downloads. I couldn't do it without the community. Definitely I was shocked when we started, just the reception of within the people, and it like I was just looking at my Spotify Wrapped and realizing like it is 18 years old to 55. It's not as many women as I thought. Like, it's like now every time I look, it's a little less and a little more men. So now we're like in the 70s for women and 30% men, and they're great. We have real conversations. They're used to, I pray at the beginning of every show. I have definitely cursed in prayers. It's okay. Jesus knows my heart. Believe me, it's not the first time God has heard me swear. He's not shook by it. They are used to going deep on squirrel tangents, but they're also used to like me just not holding back any truths from them. So they're good.
Love you, Slayers. Have you guys ever done a live event?
No, not like this. Not really. No. I'm not fancy like you. Like pre-record on Zoom and then,
No, I mean like a live in-person event for your community.
Oh, I don't know. Sure. I mean, I guess Chiro WealthCon was kind of one of those. Like, I guess that would be the
That's cool.
closest thing we've done.
That's cool. Like, I'm curious because I'm thinking about putting on a Chiro Hustle Fest.
Oh, yeah?
That'll be my first. Maybe we should do Hustle Slayers. Who knows? Two more questions. I love this closing message, miracle story, and then what's next.
Okay.
So tell us a story that might inspire people that get to the edge of this episode. Something that you've seen clinically over your career, some type of miracle.
I'm going to go a slightly different route that shows up, and I will point out to patients occasionally. So very frequently we'll have a patient that's like, hey, let's take an elbow. Honestly, let's just take something like so non-nervous system, like, because we like to focus on like those nervous system miracles, right? So like you hear that. Sorry, and I don't love extremities at all. So this is why I actually like this. So, okay. So let's say you have a patient like, hey, I like fell on ice and like, can you just look at my elbow? And I'm like, sure, of course I can. And so I'm like looking at the thing. I'm like, yep, it's an elbow. It's not broken. And, I do just a little adjustment. Like, there you go. Let me know if that fixes it. Like, whatever. I'm not a PT chiro, but you asked me to look at your elbow. I'm going to look at your elbow. And so they come in a couple days later, a week later. And I was like, oh, how's your elbow? And they're like, oh, yeah, it was fine. Like I was walking out of here and it was completely gone. Here's where the miracle is. The trajectory of that patient and the outcome that would have happened without the simplest adjustment. Now, granted, it took years and years and experience to get for that to be simple to me, to just do a little elbow adjustment. That patient would have had to schedule an appointment with their medical doctor. And their medical doctor would have said, well, we should get an x-ray to see if it's broken. They would have gotten an x-ray. We're racking up the cost here now, right? X-ray would have said it's not broken. Also would not have said, oh, it's subluxated. You should go see a chiropractor, because a subluxation to them is complete dislocation. So it would just be sitting in this like gray area so then they would have sent a referral to a physical therapist. So then they would have gone to the physical therapist. Maybe they would have gotten an MRI at this point. So we're talking weeks. Start going to physical therapy. Physical therapy, don't hate it. I love physical therapists because they do the shit that I don't want to do as a chiropractor, right? Like they would have given these exercises to like focus on, like they maybe would have stripped the forearm muscles. Who knows what they would have done over there. And maybe the patient would have been compliant about the exercises. Maybe not, because most patients aren't compliant. And they just really aren't. They don't want to do shit at home. Like they don't love doing exercises. They all say they want exercises, but they don't want to do exercises.
You know what they don't want either? Yeah. Stretches.
Right. Exactly. And like, we're talking now. So you go to physical therapy for 3 months. We're talking, let's say, minimum of 4 months from now. This patient's elbow may have gotten better or not. Maybe they're being sent back to get an MRI at this point. Who knows? And it literally took me 3 seconds to just like, oh, put it back in. And it's like, oh yeah, that's gone now. Like, to me, and I will talk this whole thing out with a patient sometime so they see how freaking incredible the profession of chiropractic is. Of just like, oh, you had a rib out. Here you go. I put it back in. Versus like, I had wraparound pain on my left side. I went in, they did the whole heart workup and they couldn't find anything. Thousands and thousands of dollars and persistent pain. And it's like, we're just like, it's just an adjustment. Like it's
just a rib.
It's just a rib. Like
let me take that anterior.
Yeah. It's just like that to me. And it's so not miraculous, right? Like in us,
but
it's just an elbow. And it's like, no, the difference of trajectory with that patient, that just went away.
But the part you didn't get to, now they go to the specialist and now they get injections. Mm-hmm. Now they get on opiates. Now they get a surgery. Now they're 45 and their life is like shelved.
And
Like
that whole
they're
time they had to quit playing basketball. They couldn't hold their kid
they
on their
can't
right
sleep.
side. It
They
hurts
can't
when they're
sleep.
typing.
They're not in pool league anymore. They can't play horseshoes. Like
And we're just
they're
like,
not hunting. They're not hunting. You know, they're not doing the
Mhm.
things that they love to do, whatever it might be, whether
Yeah.
it's man or woman, like whatever they're deciding to do, their innate is dim. Their vitality is less. They're not having a quality of life. Their activities of daily living, if you want to go insurance, suck. Like they're not living vital. Their
and we're just
vitality.
walking around, booping things in place like, oh, let me try. I
Oh,
don't know.
yeah.
There you go.
Oh,
Let me know if I fixed it.
let me check your ankle now. Come on.
Yeah.
Well, I think this has been a great episode. If people want to work with you and check out your multi-passionate chiropractor program, when are you doing that?
So we start onboarding the week after Christmas. So you can get a hold of me usually through either Facebook Messenger or Instagram. Those are the best ways to send me a DM. That's fine. I am very active in both of those. So if you want more information, on Instagram, we have the link, like kind of like that landing page so you can understand more about it. And yeah, we start doing just phone calls. I do like a short phone call or I'll Voxer with someone just because I want to make sure that it's not a waste of someone else's time. So I want to know, like, all right, what are you looking to accomplish? And make sure that that is actually going to be covered in the program. The program is technically only 10 weeks, but like it is only because I have ADHD and I could not possibly take a year to tell you all the information I want to give you right now. So 10-week, very intense. And then the rest of the year, we just support.
Where's your podcast? Where should people listen to you?
Most people listen on Apple, but Apple, Spotify, Castbox, all the places that we're on YouTube now. That's a brand new thing.
Well, Dr. Lauren, if you guys want to get in touch with her, she's at Facebook Messenger, IG Messenger. She has the whole framework for you guys to get into the multi-passionate chiropreneur program. So there's a link over there. Check it out. I love her course of action. She'll get you on a phone call. She'll send you some Voxer messages, see if you're the right fit for the group. And if so, she turns you into what you're meant to be. Mm-hmm. She helps you along the journey. She slays podcast. She slays the day. It's a really cool show. You guys should check her out. Appreciate you for being on with me today.
I appreciate it too. And look, we even went long. See, I knew I'd do it to you.
I know you got an additional 10 minutes on the clock with me. This is episode 701, the Chiro Hustle Podcast. I close out the same way every time, like I told Dr. Lauren at the beginning. You guys are just one story away. Keep hustling. We'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye for now. Thanks for listening to Chiro Hustle. Don't forget to subscribe and check back next week to continue hustling.